present here. And we will now start the last and concluding session on women entrepreneurs in AgriTech and FoodTech. I would now request our speakers to come on the dais. Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, Director, CSIR, Central Food Technological Research Institute, Mysore. Welcome to ma'am. Dr. Veena S. Anil, Professor and Co-Coordinator, Agri Innovation Center, UAS, Bangalore. Srimati Madhushri N. Deshpande, Founder and CEO, Silver Spoon Enterprises. Srimati Bhargavi D. Nayak, Founder and CEO, Cake Conference. Once again, I welcome all the speakers of the event on behalf of Tech Bharat and also University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore. I now request Dr. Veena S. Anil, Professor and Co-Coordinator, Agri Innovation Center, US, Bangalore, to moderate the session.
Good afternoon to one and all, organizers from Tech Bharat, my colleagues and friends and dear students. I welcome you all for this last session on women entrepreneurship in AgriTech and FoodTech. And we have very good speakers here today, very esteemed speakers. Of course, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, Director of CFTRI, welcome madam. Also welcome to my personal welcome to two of the entrepreneurs here on stage today, Srimati Madhushri Deshpande. She is the CEO and founder of Silver Spoon Enterprises, and Srimati Bhargavi Nayak, CEO for Cake Conference. Welcome you all. Before I call on our guests today to just say a few words, I'd like to just run through some slides, giving briefly some details about the Agri Innovation Center and the entrepreneurship support system that exists in US, Bangalore. We are sitting in this, projecting. Yeah. So we are sitting in this beautiful campus. The USB or GKVK campus is well known for agri science education, both at UG level, PG level, and PhD levels. But also the university, it was started in 1963. It not only specializes on teaching, but also specializes on two important other two aspects, that is research and extension. So the university has got 6 campuses. It's not GKVK alone, but there are 6 campuses across some regions of Karnataka. There are many agriculture research stations and Krishi Vijnana Kendras who have direct contact with the farming community. There are 22 research departments, and there is expertise basically in core agriculture sciences. In 2016, the university felt the need to start, entrepreneurship kind of environment within the university to encourage farmers as well as our graduating students. So in 2017, the Agri Innovation Center USP was formally initiated with the motto of nurturing entrepreneurship and providing opportunity to change traditional agriculture to agri-businesses. So I've just put a framework of our organization, USP Agri Innovation Center. It is headed by the Vice Chancellor and a committee headed by our Vice Chancellor. We have collaborations with other incubators such as CCAMP, SID, IASC, BBC's Bangalore Bio Innovation Center, etc. We have collaborations with these well-known incubators. Also, we have many, our own initiatives. And for this, we have got funding from BioNest. BioNest stands for Bio Incubators Nurturing Entrepreneurship and Scaling Technologies. That is funded by BIRAC, basically, Department of Biotechnology. Also, we have another funding from a rural agripreneurship. This is the ODOP, basically, and this we are running through our sub-campuses, Mandya, Hassan, Chamarajanagar, Ramnagar, etc. This is funded by the Ministry of Food Processing Industry, Government of India. The third one is the NABARD project. This is under process, and this is on Rural Incubation Center. So basically we provide infrastructure, that is incubation, in-house infrastructure, technical mentoring, business mentoring, IPR facilitation, capacity building funding. We also facilitate some funding. So some of the core thematic areas are given here. The most important is actually crop improvement, crop production, and various things, related areas such as nanotechnology in agriculture. All these are also included, marketing, supply chain, etc. So this is just to show you the connection with the sub-campuses. So there is a nodal center of the incubation center at this university, which is connected to the sub-campuses, Mandya, Chamarajanagar, Hassan, Chintamani, etc., and the KVKS and the ARS, to run this, especially the rural incubation. So who can incubate? Progressive farmers, students, or graduates, anybody who wants to do anything in AgriTech, who are either in ideation stage or who want to scale up. So these are some of the facilities of the university, whether it is bio-incubation, production, tissue culture facility, genomics facility, molecular biology labs that are dedicated to incubation. We have a central instrumentation facility and a lot of field experimental areas. So I'm just highlighting on food processing and value addition for this meeting. So there's a lot of scope for women entrepreneurship. I don't want to elaborate what is food processing or value addition. And of course, our interest in this is that rural women, can create opportunities for rural women to form small enterprises. And of course, it serves two purposes: empowerment of rural women and creation of additional income for rural households. It can also serve for demand for special quality foods in the urban areas. For rural women to get into entrepreneurship, there are a lot of issues. One is lack of finance, poor network, education is also a constraint, and various other factors. And even, the challenges faced by entrepreneurs in the urban region also, I'm sure our speakers will speak about that. To overcome some of these challenges, at least the university is conducting training programs, and also, various aspects also are, and Government of India, and there are a lot of government schemes that can help specifically women to get loans and things like that, which are listed here. Also, the university provides a number of technologies in different areas. It could be engineering or any other area, but I have focused here today on food processing as well as value addition. So there are many composite mix for health products, value products, all developed by the university. So this is the bakery products developed by the bakery training unit at USB. Okay, and these are some millet-based products. Okay, and there are some therapeutic products with high fiber food for obesity, energy dense laddu for undernourishment, low glycemic index products for diabetes, etc. Several kinds of malts from finger millet, from foxtail millet, some products. And all this, I just want to say, they are available with the Director of Research, and the interested startups can actually take the license for this to start their own entrepreneurship. Our scientists will give training how to prepare these products basically. So that is also given. So I've just put one slide with, among about 30 entrepreneurs that we had in our incubation center, about only 5 of them were ladies, 2 of them have graduated, and they are in different sectors. They were startups, and I've just put some pictures. This can definitely improve. I want to encourage all girls students here, or anybody, ladies, to make available of these facilities that are available in the university. So this is just the team. So it is supported by Bioness Bairak. So Lekha is the CEO. Then we have Priyanka and Bharat Prasad, who are technical officers in the team, and also Brijesh, who is the operational manager. So thank you very much. So now I will call on Madam to say a few words connected to women in the startups. You can speak the word.
Very good afternoon to all present here, and I would like to thank Tech Bharat and the organizers for inviting me here today for this session. It is a great privilege indeed. Thank you. Coming to women entrepreneurship in AgriTech and FoodTech. So let me start at the very beginning. When you look at the schooling, we find that 50% are girls and 50% are boys in the class. You come to college, it gets a little bit skewed depending upon the kind of courses that are there. When you look at food science and nutrition, often we find that there are more girls. This is because probably it is thought that women's forte is nutrition. Traditionally, they have been in the kitchen, they have been providing nutrition to the family, taking care of the children, and there has been a generational hand-me-downs of recipes. So they are very natural, and probably nature has made them to become masters in the kitchen, especially when it comes to food. Whereas in the engineering sciences or maybe mathematics, you find that there are more boys. Then when you come on to even higher studies like the PhDs, you will find again, especially in biology, you find that there are more girls. Maybe in the physical sciences and other streams, there are more boys. But when it comes to the job, often you find that the girls have just disappeared. There are very few girls who go on and continue in the career. They may even join, but very soon they leave that. Probable reasons are that the demanding years of career and family life are the same in case of a woman. So she becomes the central point in any family. I have no complaints about that, but it can be very demanding for an individual because you often find, traditionally you find that even when the child comes home and sees the mother, they are demanding, where is my book, where is my socks, where is my tiffin dabba, and so on and so forth. But when they come home and see the father, they have only one question: where is Amma? Right? So she has to, so if she falls sick or she is not there, then the entire family gets disturbed. So that is what I meant when I said that the demanding years of career and home are the same. So often you find that women are forced to choose between career and family. So but they are 50% of the workforce. And especially in our democratic India, you find that the government is giving equal importance to both women and men, which means that our GDP is also affected if the workforce of women are not considered and they are not contributing. But they are naturally having empathy, they have naturally abundant amount of patience. Women are able to do the same jobs over and over again without complaining. So they have certain talents which our country badly requires, and it can definitely benefit from it. So why should we keep the women force away from earning money, getting profits, having a stability in life, especially financially, and feeling satisfied that they are also providing and contributing? So how can you do that balance? One is if you can become an entrepreneur, because then there is nothing like, it is a demanding job, but at the same time you can choose the timings that you like so that you are not really compromising on family either or becoming the brunt of criticism that you are neglecting this or the other. Now, how do you get these entrepreneurship ideas? Because many times what happens, So when it comes to again entrepreneurship, whether it is in biology, whether it is in food, whether it is in agriculture, what happens usually when it is a man, often you find that the older men are mentoring the younger ones. So even in research, you find that an older scientist who is more experienced will just put an arm around the younger person, take him for a cup of coffee, and pass on certain tips and ideas as to how they can get a grant, how they can develop their group. But when there are so few women in senior positions, this would not happen as often. Because definitely no man is going to put an arm around the woman and take her for a cup of coffee to teach her how she can get her grants and how she can start research. So the same thing is happening with entrepreneurship also. So somewhere the government and policy had to step in to ensure that women get their rightful place. Because it is not the lack of ideas that is preventing them, nor is it the lack of a market. It is the ignorance of opportunities that are available. So information needs to be given, mentorship needs to be there, and definitely some amount of self-confidence has to be built into the persons that they also can actually rise up to the challenge. Fortunately, more and more such policies are coming into at least our country to make sure that women are getting these kind of opportunities. And like I said earlier, because they are natural providers as designed by nature, they take in to this field, especially of food science and technology, like a duck takes to the water. They just know what is right. And many, especially in India, you have so many traditional recipes. The woman has actually imbibed it from generations. So we know what is that food which has better digestibility. How do I change the food so that I get better absorption? For example, if before many of these multinational baby foods were in the market, they used to be prepared at home. And what was done? Some amount of germination was done. Then it was processed in such a way to remove the outer layers so that only the starchy portion is there, which is finely sieved, and that goes into making of the porridge to feed the baby. So this is known already within the family. And there are many such things. So we know that germination improves the digestibility, and therefore the baby is able to absorb the food much better. And because the baby is growing so fast, they do not require so much of fiber or so much of anti-nutrients, which may be having a health benefit but not so much for the infant, because the infant needs proteins, needs carbohydrates in the very active growing phase. So somewhere we have learned that fermentation improves the quality. There are more vitamins that are produced. The carbohydrates which were complex are broken down to simple sugars. Like for example dosa or idli, we know that it is much better digestible as compared to only a cooked dal. So all of this is known. Now how do you go about commercializing this? Because generally what happens, when you prepare a food, it's immediately, there are a lot of chemical reactions that are taking place. And once these set in, it is very difficult to actually arrest them. And so the staling will start. And by afternoon, evening, already the food is no longer edible. So how do you keep it? And that is where the research and development organizations like CFTRI come into the scene. We are able to actually tell you how exactly you should process the food. It may be a little different, the recipe may be a little different, the ingredients may be a little different, the kind of processing that is done may be a little different. But the taste would remain somewhat similar to the natural food. Further, when you are making more and more amounts, because you want to cater to a bigger market, then the processing machinery will also become different. You may require equipment, and it cannot be hand kneaded, for example, when you make a chapati at home. But when you're making it in a much larger scale, it requires equipment. So what is that equipment that you would be requiring? And we can definitely advise you as to the what kind of a market you can look for, what kind of a clientele you can look for. So today when you look at the consumer, you are finding that there is somebody who wants, to manage their weight. There may be somebody who's so active in sports that they want food which will help them to perform better. There may be somebody who's diabetic, somebody with cardiovascular disease. All of these require different kinds of food. The recent pandemic has shown us that it is the diet which plays a role in our health. It is not medicine. No longer the consumer wants to take medicine. What they want is to eat the right kind of food so that they will have a healthy life for as long as they live. So this is where the women entrepreneurs can find a niche. That is one part, because you can choose and you can either start off on your own in a small way and choose to grow. At the same time, you can also become an incubator in whichever place you are, because most of the cities especially are having like the Bionest incubators. Many of them are having these opportunities. If you have your PhD, then you can go into biotechnology or whichever is the area that you are having, which can be connected to food. So all of these kind of opportunities are available. And further, there is also scope that a lot of banks are coming forward. There are a lot of government schemes that are being announced. All of this will also help, especially youngsters, to grow. Now, probably if you look at India today, the biggest niche market that is there is on health ingredients that are coming from food. We have so many different kinds of foods which are known to have the health claims, but they have not been validated scientifically. If these can be proven, then there is nobody in the world who can market it as good as our country can. And if you are able to find that particular market, and if you come to us, we can help you to scientifically validate it. Then we can help you to approach FSSAI for a license. And then you can start. We do have a sensory department. We have a packaging department. We are the nodal referral lab for FSSAI. We are recognized by NABL. So we do test for foods for more than 300 kinds of tests, and we can tell you if you want to make a claim, what are the further work that you require to do so that you are able to capture that particular market. There are also people with metabolic disorders, maybe phenylketonuria, for example. So they need special kinds of foods. There is a large growing geriatric population. The elderly require special nutritional needs. Apart from this also, there are a large number of women, especially in the rural areas, who are forming self-help groups. And they are manufacturing many of the foods which are going into the government intervention programs. You should know that there are around 200 million people in India itself who are undernourished. I am talking about protein, calorie, malnutrition. But there are nearly more than 50% of our women are anemic in the reproductive age. There is around, in some states, 40% of the men are anemic. Many, many children under the age of 5 are anemic. In fact, the child deaths under the age of 5, most of them are because they are not getting the proper kind of nutrition. So there is a huge market if we are able to get easily digestible food and with having the proper kind of protein quality. Often you find that many people are not aware what kind of protein should be given to the fast-growing children. So usually it is protein means dal, dal means tur dal in south of India, but tur dal does lack some essential amino acids, And if these are not given to the children, then that protein is not utilized as protein, which means they will not grow to the optimum level that nature has designed them to be. But their cousins who are eating maybe milk and eggs and living abroad are much taller. So this shows that we need to provide foods with balanced proteins with them. Similarly, micronutrients, vitamins, iron, calcium, all of this. So there are markets and there is more than enough opportunity if women entrepreneurs want to work in the nutrition space, in the health food space, or even in the ingredient space. Further, if you are educated and maybe with an MSc, maybe with a PhD, doesn't matter, and you want to go into a more specialized area, then there would be space with biotechnology where enzymes can be used to hydrolyze protein so that you can get more digestible foods, maybe for convalescents, maybe for geriatrics, maybe for infant foods. All of this is possible, or you can just make the enzymes, you can make the additives which are from natural sources, which would help with keeping the freshness of the food. All of these are possible. Now in CFTRI we do have an incubation center, and you will find that most of our incubators, we have around 12 suites. We also have a business accelerator wherein they don't have to necessarily be on the campus. We also plan to be virtual mentorship opportunities to people who would like to have us as consultants. We also provide opportunity for scale up. Our pilot plants can be hired by anybody and they for a small fee, and they can do their test marketing from our place also. Prepare the product and then go for test marketing. So all of these opportunities are available and possible. So further, if there are anything more, I can provide the information. I think I will stop at this time. Thank you.
On services that are given by CFTRI that would help entrepreneurs. Thank you. Now I call on young entrepreneur, Srimati Madhushri Deshpande, to share her experiences with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I thank Tech Bharat for having me here. First, I want to start with a well-known quote. A ship is safe in the harbor, but do you think it is made for to keep in the harbor itself? No. It is not made for to keep it in the harbor. So it needs a sail, need to be sailed in the sea. So we first women entrepreneurs, firstly women, not entrepreneur, first women, we have to come out from the home comfort to do anything. There is to do something. There is a start. We don't know what is the first thing we have to do to be an entrepreneur. I would like to suggest first you should come out from your home comfort. Then opportunities will open for you. Because in parallel to my entrepreneurship journey, I do volunteer a women association in my city. I'm connected with many women saying that, ma'am, like we want to do this. So what are the opportunities? Where to get loan and how to start with? I don't know what type of machine to be purchased. So we have right now in the current time we have solutions for everything and every problems. But we don't know whom like what to start, where to start, and whom to contact to start. But currently, government is giving many opportunities, and many universities are providing for SAG women and students. To, opportunities are open all everywhere. But we don't know what we should know where and whom to approach and what to do, what is right for us. I would like to suggest you should know your what your best, in best. if you are not aware, you should ask, and you should start to ask your family itself. Start the culture from the home only. See, coming from the background, industrial background, district, like I do face many problems at home. But what I did is I started the culture from my home itself. I started involving my family members in whatever I do and wherever I go. So like this, what happens? They start interest in your journey and your works and your success and your challenges. They self come and start to help you to come out from any problems if you are facing at your entrepreneurial journey. So first, the culture should be start from your home itself. Then I think there will be no biggest challenge for women entrepreneurs. As Madam said, we are naturally blessed with technologies. So the technologies which we are using, especially my technology, we are into dehydrated fruits and vegetable and powders. So it is not actually the technology what we are, it is ancient technology. People in our ancient time, they used to dry in the sun. But the difference, we are using in the machineries, different types of machineries we are using for drying. But like we are blessed with naturally with the skills and many talents. We have to know where to put it and what we are best in. Listening to ma'am, she was mentioning about the porridge making powder. So it is, from our grandmothers to right now, young generation know about it, but we never try to do it. We know that every technology and Google information is everywhere. We know the technology, we know the process, but we never try. We just go and buy the branded one or like exported one and give to our babies or consume ourselves like that. But we should take it as a challenge, or we should find the solutions to our the problems surrounding us. Like as man was mentioning, there is a huge problem of malnutrition and anemia. We have an exclusive product based on that. So when I personally went to meet doctor, she suggested me some tablets and all for to improve my hemoglobin. So what I thought is, why not try? I should try at my home. I do have all the all the vegetables which are rich in the B12 and iron. So I started from my home itself. Now I have that exclusive product in the soup format. So I have consumed it for 22 days and my hemoglobin level increased dramatically without any medications. So we should start from our home itself. What the technology is right now, where all over the technology is available and all the universities are ready to help us. So I think this is the best time. It's never too late to start with. And anything from my side, can anytime contact me for any contacts and help. Thank you.
Journey. Really, you have an entrepreneurial mindset because you turned a health issue that you might have had into a product. Okay, very good and congratulations. I now call on Bhargavi to say a few words.
Good afternoon. I said good afternoon. So, all of you watch movies? Romantic movies? You know where they stop? Happy ending is ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಎಂಡಿಂಗು. ಮದುವೆ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ಯಾಕೆ ಮೂವಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? The real struggle begins then. So today I ask you all, you want to know my success story? or you want to know my struggle and failure story? Want to know the struggle? Because you have many number of, you can just Google how to succeed ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದು 10 ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. What to do, where to go, how to do it. But I will share with you my struggles because that is the most valuable thing I can pass on to the upcoming entrepreneur. So I started Cake Confluence from my kitchen. I started making cakes. Before this, let me give a small background. By profession, I'm actually a lawyer. I've done my LLM and I worked in US for 4 years and then I practiced here. So totally I worked as a lawyer 6 years. And then I had my twins. So like as ma'am was saying, of course, there is one point in every woman's life where the family precedes over our career. So I had twins and I had to stay back home with them. But I have not known the pain of staying at home because I started working when I was 16 years old. I started doing sales for a company called AMC when I was 16. Then I joined as a trainer in Vita when I was in college. So I have worked all my life and suddenly I was thrown at home with 2 screaming infants. So what was it that I could do? And like we have an outdated saying, they say women belong in the kitchen. So I started my business from the kitchen. So I started making cakes. I started, before I baked cakes also, I had no prior formal training except following the cookbook which came free with the microwave. That was all the knowledge I had of baking a cake. And of course muffins, the YouTube note, I had that much knowledge. Then I used to see Instagram, all of these women, they are doing these wonderful celebration cakes and they are selling it for money. So I thought, okay, maybe this is something that I could do. So what I did, as soon as I start, nobody is going to come and order. So I had to market myself. How did I do? So I started baking cakes for every occasion in my family. ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ occasion ಇರಲಿ, send off party ಇರಲಿ, ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ ಇರಲಿ, ಮದುವೆ ಇರಲಿ, I used to show up with a cake which I baked. And then I got a little better, 1% better than what I was. And I probably sold 2 or 3 cakes, celebration cakes, before I realized you need to be an artist. And I'm someone who can't even draw an amoeba properly. So that was not my forte at all. Then, but one thing was very clear, I was not going to sit at home and it was too late to go back to my profession because it was already 4 years break that I had taken. So I started baking cakes, I had a product, then came the challenge. I did not know where to sell it. Where to sell? Then I went and found, wherever we buy groceries in the supermarket, I went to that guy and I said, I'm baking cakes. I shop for around 20,000-30,000 a month in your shop. So least you could do for me is put it on your shelf. And he was kind enough, he agreed. And my first product went on shelf in the year 2017. I started off with brownies under Cake Confluence. So this is just the background. And the real struggle began when I had to compete with the big time market. Britannia, Parle, and Modern Breads. So they are giants. They have been in the industry for many years. Their costs are low. Their packaging is very, very good. It's very attractive. I am a nobody in front of them. So how am I going to compete with them? So this was my first roadblock when I went to the retail market. So I requested him, I told him, you give me a small space, I will pay a small rent, not the rent, not the kind of rent that these the super giants pay for the racks. If I don't know if you are aware or not, in retail sector, they pay for the shelves where the products are displayed, and they have categories. If it is front facing, it is around 10,000. If it is in the back, it is around 5,000. This is something I had no clue about. So I told him I'm a small timer, so I'm going to give you a little more percentage than what this guy is giving you, but give me a small space. So I started baking cupcakes. I had 8 flavors, and luckily I gathered some fan following. I had some customer base because I placed my product as a home baked and preservative free, and they were small mini sized cupcakes, bite sized cupcakes, which were not available in the market. So Cake Confluence made name for around a year or so. Then again I've started facing a challenge of how to maintain the shops. I started with 1 shop. By the end of that year I had 4 shops, and in the next 4 months I expanded to 32 shops. But after I started my 33rd shop, I understood it was so difficult to maintain the shops, to maintain the shelves, because it is very funny. It is like almost like a cat fight in there, because I'll tell you a small incident. So I had placed my products in MK Ahmed in Nagarbavi, and I went back to check if my products were selling good. After 3rd day of me placing the product, the place where I had displayed my product, my product was not there. It was empty. And I was so ecstatic that all my products were sold out. I thought it was done. I had sold out all the 40 packets that I had put there. And I called the shop in apprehension because I knew he was going to burst my bubble. So he came, we searched the whole shop, we didn't find my product. And finally said, Madam, full kali agoytu, tumba chanagide, innondu 40 packet tandu haki. He gave me the order. Happily I came home, and after 2-3 days, when I went back, he said, Madam, nim product expire agogide, kelagade ide tagondu hogi. I said, how did those come? We thought we had sold out. Then he tells me that this another person whose product, I shouldn't be taking name, whose product was placed next to mine, he had pushed my product under his products and he had arranged his products over mine. So until all of his products were sold out, my product did not surface. So that is the kind of cat fights you find, and it's a real struggle, because when you have 1 shop you can do it. But when you have more than 32 shops, it was a real struggle for me, because I was on the road all the time. I had to maintain the shelves, and then I had to see the products were placed in the proper order, the old first, new back. So, and the returns. And then another struggle for me was payments were never made on time. So thinking all of these things, and another major problem I had with cakes was that shelf life was very, very low, because I did not add any preservatives. So the shelf life was only around 4 to 5 days. So I thought it's an important lesson I learned that day, that one night, when I had a realization that maybe this might not work. So I had to sit myself down and I had to tell myself that, we should be emotionally attached to the business and not to the product. I repeat again, I don't know if all of you understood. Please be emotionally attached to business and not the product. Because if your product is not working, please change it. That does not mean that is the end of your entrepreneurial journey, end of your business career. If some product is not working, change it. Understand what the market needs. Understand the platform where you're selling. Understand the parameters, what you need to follow. So I understood where the platform I had chosen was the retail sector. So my product had to be something that survived on the shelf. So the packaging had to be good, shelf life had to be long, the strength of the product had to be good so that even if the boys threw it around here and there while shifting, my product did not get damaged. So keeping all of this in mind, I started making chocolates. It was all good, it was all rosy until summer began. So summer began, and while transporting, these chocolates started melting. So that was another roadblock. Again, I had to change my product. So after changing 3 products, I finally settled down with cookies. I now, Cake Confluence makes biscuits. And it started off, again, I had to, by this time I had lost most of the shops because we had a COVID lockdown. Once the COVID was, after the restrictions were lifted and the shops were reopened, I had from 32 shops, among 32 shops, many of them closed down permanently. And I underwent almost a lakh, more than a lakh of loss because my products were still in the market and they were shut down. And many returns came back. So that was a little too much for me to bear at that time as a small timer. I'm sure ma'am will agree because 1 lakh for a small time entrepreneur, the loss, if you have to bear, it's too much. But I did not give up because when you're tired, please don't give up. You take rest, you stop, you sit down, you breathe, drink some water, take rest. You get up and you move on again. So we started cookies. Then we came up with 9 flavors of Beku biscuits. We make biscuits, puliogre biscuits, pizza biscuits, Osmania, chocolate. So we have 9 varieties of biscuits which go to supermarkets. So I was telling you about my struggle. We started making during, I think it was just a few months before the lockdown, we got a distributor who was going to distribute our product, be the distributor for Cake Confluence, and he defaulted on a check which was around 7 lakhs. That was another huge blow for us, but we stood back again, and then I went ahead, I finalized the deal with Metro Cash and Carry. So after 3 months of negotiation and all the talks, contract signing, it was agreed that Cake Confluence products will be on the shelf of Metro Cash and Carry in 2 outlets. Everything was ready, like like they say that all good things come to an end. Everything was ready. We were ready with almost around 6 to 7 lakh worth products, which had to be delivered in the next 4 days. They call me up and they say that we have some problem with the margin. So we are not okay with the margin unless and until you are going to accept for this margin, we might not be able to go through with the contract. So that was another major blow. And after that, the lockdown happened. We distributed all the biscuits in all the orphanages and other things. So this was a lot. It took almost 6 months to come out of it. But today, let me not leave a bad taste in all of you, and let me tell you a little bit of my success story too. So today, Beku products, Cake Confluence products, go to around 300 shops in Bangalore. It goes to 5 states. It goes to 5 states and around 12 districts in Karnataka. So all I want to tell you guys is do not give up. Do not give up. You can cry, you can scream, you can eat chocolate, just stay in your bed, not come out for 2 days. Don't do anything. You will be fine. You will be fine because you need to believe that it is going to be fine, because that is what being an entrepreneur is. Being an entrepreneur, they think it is making money, starting something. No. I feel, my personal opinion, being an entrepreneur means believing your dream, even when you want to give up yourself. That, I think, is the true meaning of being an entrepreneur. So I wish all the best to all the wonderful ladies who are here. I wish to see each one of you become very, very successful entrepreneurs. Successful means not in terms of money, but in terms of rich in experience. Money too, yeah, we need money. But let that be a byproduct of your journey, because this is a very beautiful journey by itself. Every day is a new day. Every day is different. Every day is brings something with it. And you should expect up and down, because imagine if the ECG line went straight, you'd be dead. What indicates that you're alive? That it is going up and down, up and down. So enjoy that up and down, and know that when you're in down position, it will go up. And I want to thank all the men who are present here. I know it's a women entrepreneur program, but I want to thank all the men who are here. I'm sure that I will be seeing a lot of support for the women entrepreneurs in your lives, and they need it. And thank you for being here and making them feel special. Thank you.
And also sharing your never say die attitude and inspiring us students here. Thank you. So, just conclude the discussion. I'd like to ask the young speakers here. Did you face any challenges as women? In your entrepreneurial journey, you've shared many challenges, but were they specific for a woman? Other than what Madam mentioned, you have a responsibility to your homes and all that. Other than that, outside your homes, did you face any challenges?
Yeah. Actually, my major problem was handling labor and also marketing. Um, Actually, I should say when there were no labors, when I was preparing for this exhibition and there were no labors at my unit. I myself prepared 7 products and each 7 products of 25 kg in just 3 days. I had to be prepared because I do have many other exhibitions. I know, like, ಏನಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಜಾಬ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ರೀಜನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅದು ಸುಳ್ಳು. ತುಂಬ ಜಾಬ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಬೇಕು. Right now, currently I have 3 job openings at my unit, especially for women, but no woman is coming forward because they are very comfort at home job or like something. Why? ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಲೇಬರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ದೊಡ್ಡದು. ರೈಟ್ ನಾವು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಗಾಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ entered Bangalore, I received call that the 2 ladies are ready to work for my unit. ಯಾರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ they all left at single day itself. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಬಂತು, ಇಬ್ಬರು ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನನ್ನ ಯೂನಿಟಿಗೆ ಜಾಬ್ ಮಾಡೋದಂತ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮೈ ರಿಯಲ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್. ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾನು 2019 ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 products, which I was very experienced and I was very good at it. Masala powders. And masala powders, we all know there is a huge competition with it, with MNC brands and also local brands. They are very big competitors for us. But as a manufacturer, when I visited shop, I don't know, I don't want to blame them. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಫ್ರೀ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾಳೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ನಾಡ್ದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಈ ಥರ. ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಥರ ಅಂತ ದೆನ್ ಐ ಸೆಂಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ನೋ ಲೇಬಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿತ್ ಮೈ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್. they started with the margining talk and everything. Okay, ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಜಿನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಈ ಥರ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ. I was wondered actually. ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ಶಾಪಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಬಂದೆ ಇವತ್ತು. My husband was telling. He has few friends at shops. So same, I sent him to the same shop which I visited previous day. That shop owner was very comfortable with him, and he was ready to take my products in his shop. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ವೈ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್? Still in which generation are we living? That those thoughts came to me. But okay, it's okay. Like I was prepared for it actually. We have to be prepared. Then I started next. I approached food. In our area, we have a first women food cluster of India, sponsored from government of Karnataka and government of India. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವುಮೆನ್ ಫುಡ್ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ 23 lakh worth machineries ಇದೆ, but nobody are coming to use it, nobody coming forward to use it. I met the president of that food cluster. She told, all you can use any machineries for your production. I was really very happy. No, ನೀವು ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮಿಷನರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಯೂಸೇಜ್. Then how much, like I thought I'm very blessed. Then I started what I have planned. I started manufacturing powders over there, vegetable powders. First powder was onion and tomato powder, where I tried in that food cluster. Then I started to supply the chips manufacturing units, where in small scale alli yaar ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ I started to approach to them for flavoring chips to make and all. Then it came the funding. Funding is also a big challenge. Now we were bootstrapped starting. Then to upscale my unit and upscale my production, I needed funds. Then where to go? I started going to banks. Of course, we all know what is the problem we have to face at the bank. They were ready to loan me, but ನಮ್ದೇನು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ obviously they need some surety or like some collateral and all, because my project was like bit bigger. So bigger cash loan ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ of course we need collateral. So then I saw elevate funding from Startup Karnataka. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. There I faced was how to pitch, and I was very blank when I heard a word of pitching. I was not at all aware of it. So I approached many people to how to prepare PPTs, how to of course I did in my ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ PPT ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಬಟ್ it's not the normal PPT. I have to raise funds. So it needs some skills to prepare for funding and all. So I must say I was very blessed. So I received grants, 15 lakh grants from Startup Karnataka Elevate Call 2. And this proud moment I want to share one other proud event that day happened, proud moment. So I was the first woman entrepreneur from my district to win that Elevate grant funding. So challenges are everywhere for everyone, not only for women entrepreneurs, for all the entrepreneurs, but as ma'am was telling, we should never step back, and we should keep on our attitude to grow. Thank you.
I think from my experience in 5 years, what I have deduced is men are really confused when a woman approaches with some product to sell them. They have no clue how to react. They are not expecting you. They don't know how to say no to you. So I feel that they are just plain clueless. So one such person, he walked out of the shop when I went with the product to him, because he did not want the product and he did not say how to say no to me. He called a boy from the one who works at his shop, then he instructed him to tell me that he does not want the product. So I think 90% of the time they don't know how to handle a woman because it is new. But in my field, at least, it is new. Because on a daily basis, I go to KR market, the biscuit market, where I have to go for collections. I find most of them very cordial. And yeah, I have had unpleasant experiences, but they are not enough to shoo me away. So I will be back. They know that.
I just want to know what more can be done to enhance women and leadership from the point of view of the government as well as institutions like us.
I think skill development is extremely important. Women have natural skills, but they have to be focused on to become an entrepreneur. For that, it is not necessary that they are choosing the best recipe and become possessive about that, but more like she was mentioning, to look at the market. It's important to be the entrepreneur, not so much wedded to the product. So they do need the skills. And to get a shelf-stable product, you do need to know the skills of how to handle the raw material, how to store it, how to process it, how to package it. All of this needs to be taught. You may have some, that is one. So the training and skill development is very important. Plus, they do need some amount of mentorship and support. It could be family, it could be anybody else who can handle. It is not possible for one person to do everything from A to Z. So support is required. Maybe you're very good in the process development, but you do need somebody to scale it up. You do need somebody to do the marketing for you. So all of this needs to be thought through.
Thank you. Any questions from the audience? Good evening, everyone. Myself, Supriya, I'm from Biotech department. So my question is to the entrepreneurs on the stage. So what's your suggestion for the young entrepreneurs in selection of the niche in order to overcome the blue ocean effect in the business?
First of all, don't worry about the red ocean, blue ocean, it's just a theory. So you do away with the theory. First, you recognize what you are good at. Because if you pick something that, like for example, I can do basic cooking. I enjoy cooking and I know that my husband is duty bound to say it's nice, but I don't enjoy cooking. So if I pick a forte where someone has to do, like ma'am, she makes masala powders and other things, that is not at all my forte. It's something I might not enjoy doing on a daily basis, day in and day out for a very long period. So my suggestion would be to forget about the theory for now. Pick a aspect which you are really good at, and then you can create a USP in that product, in that particular product, as you have honed the skills of understanding the market for your product. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Actually, I go with the madam words. There is no such a theory can stop us. If you are aware of what you are good at, and you should be able to find a solution to problems around you. Like it might be anything. Not though it is a panel discussion. The discussion is for AgriTech and FoodTech, but it's not necessary you have to be in the same. But you should be able to find a solution to a problem somewhere around you. You come with a daily activities. You might come in the college or in the friend circle, anywhere it might be. So as per my experience, no theory or no such distracts can stop us being a successful entrepreneur.
Thank you. Any other question?
Hi, good evening, everybody. See, when people say that you are into cooking and all those things, definitely even we feel like starting up something, right? how do you market it? How do you start? Should I go and approach the IT people or any stalls? Any guidance on that? Because see, it's very difficult to go and approach the IT or sectors wherein they ask a lot of licenses and all. So how do you take it ahead?
No, I think you should start by yourself. Have you recognized where you want to sell, which platform your product is going to go to?
Yes, something
So-
related to millets.
So can it be sold in supermarkets, retail shops?
No.
So what kind of a product, if you could just little
It's a
tell?
nutritional balanced meal.
It's a meal, it's a
Yes.
cooked meal.
Yes.
So you have to find a platform appropriate to that, Swiggy, Zomato, where your cooked meals are being sold. So, or you could start a cloud kitchen, or you could start taking up small orders. If you live in an apartment, in your apartment complex, you could start taking small orders. Then you could make, honestly, if you ask me, cooked products, the ways you can market is quite less. You could do pamphlets, you could do ads on Instagram, you could do short reels, because now we live in the age of digital technology. So you could do short reels in Instagram or Facebook to promote yourself, and you could do some pamphlets. But otherwise, if you want to know where you can sell, you can also start your own app where people can order directly to you. The creation of an app costs very minimal amount. You could do it for as less as 5,000 rupees. So, so I think your options for you are little limited compared to a product, an FMCG product. So I hope that answered a little bit of your doubt you had.
Anyways, thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Actually, if you don't mind, I would suggest you to start a counter, ma'am. Nothing should hold you back. No? It's like if you are really confident about your product, if it is nutritional, then you should really start a counter, with a unique name, unique, like something might attract customers to your counter. Then
Any further questions?
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಶಿವಸಂಜೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಈಗ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಗಳು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಏನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ನ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ವುಮೆನ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅಥವಾ ಶಿವಶಕ್ತಿ ಸಂಘಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಅವರೇ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಗಳು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಮುಂಚೆ ಇತ್ತು 5 ವರ್ಷ ಹೊರಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆದ್ವಿ, 5 ವರ್ಷ ಇಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದುನಿಯಾ ಆ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ದಾರಿದೆ? ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಪವರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಪವರ್ ತುಂಬ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ರೇಟಲ್ಲಾಗಲಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಮೈಸ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೂ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಲೋಕಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಅವ್ರು ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಏನೇನು ಐಡಿಯಾಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ. ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆ್ಯಡ್ಗಳಾಗಲಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಅದು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮಾಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಅಫೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಂತ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಈಗ ಮಾರುಕಟ್ಟೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ನಾವು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಆಗಲಿ FSSAI ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು, GST ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಸೂಪರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಥರ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ರಿಟೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಾರ್ಕೋಡ್ಸ್, GS1 ಬಾರ್ಕೋಡ್ ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಾಗಲಿ, ನೀವು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಾಗಲಿ, ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ ಆದ್ರೂ, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೂ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಯು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಅ USP. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಯುನೀಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋದನ್ನ ಯಾವುದು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲೇ. ಲೈಕ್ ನಂದೇ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೇಕ್ಸ್ಗಳು ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಆಗ ಬರೀ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಬರೀ ವೆನಿಲಾ, ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟು, ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಈ ಥರ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ, ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಕೇಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬನಾನಾ ವಾಲ್ನಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದೆ, ವೀಗನ್ ಕಪ್ ಕೇಕ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೋಧಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಗೋಧಿ ಮತ್ತು ಹನಿ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಶುಗರ್ ಗೋಧಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹನಿ ಕಪ್ ಕೇಕ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಏನಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ಆ ಶುರು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮಿತ್. ಈಗ ನಾವು ನನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ನಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಈಗ ನಾವು ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ 3000 kg ಬಿಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ತಯಾರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ 26 days. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 50 to 60 kgs ಮೈದಾ ಇನ್ 6 hour ಶಿಫ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ನಮಗಾಗಲಿ ಅದೇನು ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಕೇಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಔಟ್ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಕಾಂಡಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಗಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಾರ್ಗಳನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಬಿಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಟೀ ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ಗಳನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಟೀ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಗಳಲ್ಲಿರೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಥ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ನಾನು ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ತುಂಬ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ನನಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ವೈಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಮೈನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಕಂಪೀಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಯು ಡೂ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಯುನೀಕ್. ತುಂಬ ಬೇಡ, ತುಂಬ ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ ಬೇಡ, ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ 1% ಆದರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಜನದ ತಲೆಗೆ ಅದು ಹೋದರೆ, ದೆನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 10 ಒಬ್ಬರಾದರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ.
So we have come to the end of this session. You can talk offline.
The panel is going to be here for some more time. You can talk to them.
You can talk offline. Okay. So I thank my 3 guests, esteemed speakers again for a lively discussion. Thank you very much. It's been really wonderful. Thank you.
Great panel. Thanks a lot to all the speakers. Before we close the last technical session, we would like to honor our guests. I call upon Ms. Lekha Shri, CEO, Bionest Agri Innovation Center, UAS Bangalore, to kindly honor our chief guest, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh. Can I request Priyanka, Mrs. Priyanka, Technical Officer, Bionext Agro Innovation Center, UAS Bangalore, to kindly honor Dr. Veena S. Anil. Can I request Mrs. Lalita Bach from GL Foods to kindly honor Srimati Madhushri N. Deshpande. Can I request Mrs. Veka, Placement Head, Jyoti Institute of Technology, to kindly honor Srimati Bhargavi G. Nayak. I once again thank the esteemed panelists on behalf of Tech Bharat, IMS and Lagu Bharati. Can I request Deshpande ma'am and Bhargavi ma'am to kindly step down? request Sri P.S. Shrikanta Datta, All India Vice President Laghu Udyog Bharati, to come onto the stage, please. I also request Sri K.N. Narayana Prasanna, General Secretary Laghu Udyog Bharati, to also join us, please. I now invite Sri P.S. Shrikanta Datta, National All India Vice President Laghu Udyog Bharati, to kindly deliver the concluding remarks of Tech Bharat.
Distinguished guests on stage, respected Madam Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, Director CFTRI CSIR Institute, and all the eminent invitees, exhibitors, participants who have been participating in the event for the last 2 days, members of Laghu Udyog Bharati, a very good evening to all of you. On behalf of Laghu Udyog Bharati and IMS Foundation, I take the opportunity to extend my best wishes and greetings to all those who have participated in the exhibition and who have participated in the seminars also. Tech Bharat is a flagship company, is a flagship program of IMS Foundation and Laghu Udyog Bharati, which aims to bring in all the stakeholders from across the globe on the platform of Tech Bharat with the objective of doing collaborative business, facilitating a structured transfer of technology in the emerging domains. LUB is the only All India organization that has been serving the MSMEs for the last 28 years. We have more than 40,000 members across the country. LUB Karnataka is the trendsetter body leading the All India LUB and helping MSMEs across all sectors. IMS Foundation has been supporting the manufacturing sector by extending marketing and technology support through exhibitions, trade visits, capacity building programs. Also, IMS is working very closely with rural artisans and traditional handicrafts through cluster-based approach to give market assistance and technology support from them. Tech Bharat is working in the space of startups, innovators, tech companies picking up emerging trends and opportunities for them. This is the 3rd edition of Tech Bharat, and the earlier first 2 editions which happened over the last 2 years. The first edition was focusing on doing business with the government. The second edition focused on the EduTech and FoodTech, and this is the 3rd edition of Tech Bharat with the theme on transforming India's FoodTech, AgriTech and agronomic landscape with a broader spotlight on 2 of the significantly important tracks, AgriTech and FoodTech. After the resounding success of first and second edition of Tech Bharat, the 3rd edition of Tech Bharat is being held in 3 parts, 2 of which have already been completed. The main event of Tech Bharat is going to be held on the 19th, 20th and 21st of May at the sprawling CFTRI campus. Now coming to the subject why we chose this, FoodTech and AgriTech. In fact, you all know that the global population has already touched about 7.9 billion, and this is expected to reach 9.8 billion in the next 20 years. So food security has become a topic of concern across the world. We need to address the scarcity resources, the distortion in distribution and access, and need to expand the agricultural outputs. Policymakers everywhere are seeking sustainable methods to leverage technology to elevate the crisis. Consumer demands have expanded in the last few years. Spending patterns show that the consumers are ready and willing to pay a premium for good agri and food tech innovations that can meet their ever-increasing needs of convenience, diet, and low environmental impact. So therefore, the opportunity for agri and food innovators to capitalize on these market demands is growing in leaps and bounds. And in the recent years, food tech and agri tech innovators have created exciting new ways to harness the power of technology to enhance the world's food supply. AgriTech innovations and startups are offering technology-based solutions like off-take marketplaces, storage and transportation facilities, agronomy advisor services, and ecosystems to support the digital agriculture and precision agriculture, thus enabling many structural changes in the agricultural system that could achieve important sustainable goals. So we believe in this background, AgriTech and FoodTech are two of the vital streams that can drive the economy and the GDP growth in the coming years. So I'm happy to note that we have very successfully completed the connecting event of Tech Bharat. A galaxy of speakers have presented and shared their valuable insights, which will go a long way in further expanding the AgriTech and FoodTech sectors to greater heights. Some of the topics which were deliberated in the last 2 days included collaboration for development of startups in AgriTech, technology and collaboration opportunities in FoodTech, challenges of food and agri supply chains, women entrepreneurs in agri and FoodTech, which you just heard the eminent panelists talking about it. There has been many useful takeaways for all the stakeholders. The honorable ministers and eminent speakers like Dr. Chris Gopal Krishna, Dr. Subarna Iyer, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and many more have all stressed on the need and importance of technology to agriculture and food processing sector. The foreign trade officers of Israel and Swiss Next have extended their cooperation to scale up the agri-business entrepreneurs. It's really gratifying for us to note that the honorable ministers and business leaders have lauded the efforts of Tech Bharat and the organizers. While we are humbled by their appreciation, I must here acknowledge that all this has been due to the support, guidance extended by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the Vice Chancellor of University of Agricultural Sciences, and all his colleagues here. We continue to seek the support of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and all his colleagues in the coming days to continue with the programs. The main event, which is going to be held in the month of May, we'll see over 100 panelists discussing important subjects. There will be more than 250 exhibitors and a lot of representations, representatives will be there from government. We have also already started the hackathon and ideathon challenges. The best of solutions that emerge will be adjudicated by a jury of eminent panelists, and the best solutions that come out will be honored during the main event. So the main event will provide many opportunities for all the stakeholders and will have many path-breaking deliberations. So therefore, before I conclude, I would like to take the opportunity to invite all of you, please block your dates, please block your business calendars, and be with us for the main event at CFTRI campus. Looking forward to all of you in the month of May. I would just like to conclude and thank you all for your participation. I thank the organizers for the opportunity given to me.
Thanks a lot, sir. I now call upon Shri K. Narayana Krishna, General Secretary, Lakodyog Bharati, to kindly deliver his vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries of the dais, Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, Director of CFTRI, Mysore, Sri Sripad Datta, All India Vice President of Lakodyog Bharati, dignitaries, guests, invitees, and all the participants. A very good evening to all of you. The third edition of Tech Bharat connecting event in agri and food technologies has come to very well end. Our aim with this event is to encourage startups, entrepreneurship, creating job opportunities that contributes country's economic growth. This is the third stepping stone
for AgriTech Bharati and IMS Foundation. It is indeed a pleasant task for me to propose hearty vote of thanks on behalf of AgriTech Bharati and IMS Foundation to Dr. Sridevi Annapurna Singh, Director, CFTRI Mysore. A big round of applause to her. Dr. Veena S. Anil, Professor and Coordinator, Agri Innovation Center, University of Agricultural Science, Bengaluru. And entrepreneurs, Srimati Madhusri N. Deshpande, founder and CEO of Silver Spoon Enterprises. Srimati Bhargavi D. Nayak, founder and CEO of Cake Confluence, for sharing your valuable entrepreneurial experiences. I thank all the participants, exhibitors, and Government of Karnataka, Government of India Enterprises, research institutes, universities for participating in this event and making this so successful. I would like to thank all the sponsors who have supported us. I thank on behalf of AgriTech Bharati and IMS Foundation, Dr. S. Rajendra Prasad, Honorable Vice Chancellor of University of Agricultural Science, Bangalore, for partnering with us in this event. I also thank University of Agricultural Science professors, staff and students for sharing their AgriTech inputs and making this event so successful. I would like to express our thanks to media and press for covering this event. This event is so successful because of a group of people who have worked continuously for months together. There is a lot of planning and execution work involved in this. On behalf of AgriTech Bharati and IMS Foundation, I thank each one of Tech Bharat team for ideating this concept and achieving it so successfully. A big round of applause for them. I thank Mr. Shekhar, our Executive Secretary, Mr. Dilip, Mr. Vajra for their hard efforts in making this event so grand successful. I would like to invite each of you for the final event going to be held in Mysore on May 19th, 20th and 21st in CFTRI campus. That should be the final event for Agri and Food Technologies. Thank you once again.